Hello everyone, Equipment War here, and welcome to my build guide to my two-handed axe Cyclone build. I'm gonna start by taking a look at my passive skill tree, then my gear, and then the gems. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments, and I'm going to show this character in action at the end of this video. So let's get started. I went for the attack speed in the beginning, went for the life here, and then I went for Art of the Gladiator, Bravery, and Master of the Arena. Master of the Arena is particularly important because it increases your weapon range, your melee weapon range, which increases the AoE of your Cyclone. I have Destroyer. I have Splitter and Strike for some good damage with access and also some life leech. I have a Yule here, which I have global and physical damage, increased area damage, and increase lightning and cold resist. The lightning and cold resist is not that very important, and I would actually prefer to have life on it as well. But it's a quite decent duel. I have Golem's Blood. I have Homa Territory, whatever this one is called, but I want a lot of Lich in this build, so I went for this one. I have Executioner, and I have Wrecking Bell. I also have Cloak and Chain. I have Iron Reflexes, so all of my evasion are converted into armor instead. And these life and mana lich nodes here are the only source of mana lich I actually need for this build. But when you're leveling up a build like this, it could be a good idea to take both these mana lich node here and even Spirit Void to have enough damage to just have this one to sustain your mana. I have Vitality Void, and I also have Val Pact. You don't have to have Val Pact if you want the life regeneration. That's good as well. But I went for Val Pact, but you can drop it if you don't like it. Moving on, I went up here to take the big life wheel here. So I have the big life wheel here, and I have Path of the Warrior. I have Sentinel. I have Berserking. And I have Warlord's Reach. This one you get for a quest reward, so it's very easy to get. Just do all of the quests and you will get this one. And this one is very important because it increases your weapon range. Went over to my road area. I took Warrior's Blood. Life and armor note here, and I have another life and armor note here. I went for Heart of the Warrior, Born to Fight, Butchery, I have Barbarism, and I have Resolute Unique, so I can't crit, but I can't miss either. And I have Cleaving, and I have Slaughter, and finally I have Juggernaut. So this is pretty much how my skill tree looks like, and I'm going to have a link in the description to where you can find it. Let's take a look at my Ascendancy skill tree. I am an Slayer, and the first thing I did was take Endless Hunger, and after that I took Brutal Favor because it's a very good increase to your survivability, and Life Leech. And then I took Hedgeman and Bane of Legend. And when it comes to the bandits, either kill all of them and take the 2 passive skill point, or help Oak for the physical damage and the physical damage reduction. So let's take a look at my gear. So let's take a look at my items. I can start with my weapon. I'm currently using a 6-link at CST's Fable, which is a very powerful weapon, but also quite expensive. And if you can't afford an CST's Fable, try to get an axe which have as high physical damage and attack speed as you can. The great thing with CST's Fable, it is the increased weapon range, chance to bleed, and also the 2+ to level of Socrates support gems. For my helmet, I'm just using this defensive helmet here, and for your helmet you want as high life as you can get, and the resistance you need. And also try to get some good armor or evasion as well. For my amulet, I'm using the Resus Salute, which are quite expensive, but it's a very powerful amulet. It have a lot of melee damage when on full life, it increases your melee weapon range. It also gives you a small amount of movement speed and some decent fire and cold resist. If you go for a rare amulet instead, try to get as good life as you can and the resistance you need. And if you can, some flat physical damage. For your rings, you want life and resistance and flat physical damage if you can. There are a unique ring you could use called Void Heart. You can see it on screen right now. And that ring will increase your damage a lot, but it doesn't give that much life. And also relatively expensive. For my armor, I'm using a Calm's Heart, non-legacy one. If you have a legacy Calm's Heart, that would be the absolutely best armor you could use, but that's also one of the most expensive items in the entire game. Com's Heart is still quite expensive, and if you can't afford one, you can go for either a Belly of the Beast, which would be a quite good option, or you can go for a rare armor instead and try to get as high armor value as you can and the resistance you might need. For my gloves, just using these gloves here, you have a good amount of resistance and some decent life and also some dexterity. But if you can, try to get some damage there as well, like increased physical damage, or flat physical damage, or attack speed, if you can and can afford it. For my belt, I'm currently using the Wretch, and this is an expensive belt, but it's a very powerful belt and gives you immense amount of damage if you have a lot of life leech, especially when you're playing as an Slayer as I do. Because 200% of the leech apply to enemies as chaos damage, so the more leech you have, the more damage you do. It also have increased physical damage and leeches of life, increased global physical damage, they have some decent amount of life, resistance. It's overall a very, very powerful belt. But as I said, very expensive, and you can go for a rare belt instead. If you go for a rare belt, try to get a belt which have as high life as you can, and the resistance you need. And if you can, a rustic stash, you get a little bit of damage. And for my boots, I just using these boots here. You want a good movement speed on your boots, good armor, and try to get some good amount of life and the resistance you might need. For my flask, I'm using a Series Promise, very cheap to get, and you just need to kill a Siri and it will drop eventually. I'm using 2 life flasks, and I'm using 2 Quicksilver flasks. 2 unique flasks you could use, you can see it on screen right now, are Taste of Hate and Lion's Roar, if you want even more damage from your flask. And that's pretty much all of my gear. If you have any questions about my gear, feel free to ask me in the comments. So let's take a look at my skill gems. We can start with my main damage setup, which is Cyclone. And Cyclone are supported by melee physical damage, maim, chance to bleed, damage on full life, and faster attacks. If you only have a fire link setup, you can take away faster attacks. I'm using 2 auras. One of them are a vulnerability aura together with blasphemy, which makes it to an aura. And I'm using hatred. I'm using 1 movement skill, which is leap slam, together with fortify for some extra protection if I leap slamming into enemies. I'm using blood magic and faster attacks. I'm using blood magic, so I don't need mana for using my leap slam. I'm using vengeance together with life leech, so get some extra leech here and there. I'm using 1 Astral Protector against bosses, and it is supported by increased duration. And I'm using Blood Rage to get some extra damage, extra attack speed, and extra life leech. And it also gives me a chance to get unfriendly shots. If you have any questions about my skill realm, feel free to ask me in the comments. So, I will now show this character in action, and I thank you all for watching, and tell me in the comment what you think about my build, and I'll see you guys next time.